Hey everybody, it's Kevin. Today is Tuesday, the 8th of June 2021. This is Kev's Daily Vibe, and I'm glad you're here. I hope you slept well and you're all ready for the day, ready to raise your vibration, and hopefully I can inspire you to think about something that puts things into perspective. So I'm going to get right to it, shuffle the cards, and let's see what pops out. I've already done my Angel Protection one-on-one, the cleanse, the tone, the moisturize. I ask the angels to come in and fill me with a bubble of light, and I'm ready to go. Let's give these a shuffle. Okay, thank you, angels, for reminding me that you're present and revealing to me what I need to know. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to share. And so it is. Oh, there we go. I'm going to choose this one right here. Who is it? Oh, here we go. Spiritual growth. Aren't we all on that? Okay, so what can I say about spiritual growth? Well, we're all on a soul path, which is what I believe I'm on. And at any given moment, we can get caught up in the hub-drub life of life. Or, life of life. So in this picture, we have a beautiful angel. And let me get closer to that camera. There we go. The third eye center is open. The heart space is open. And it's open for whatever information is coming through. So this message is directly from Spirit Realm to encourage everybody to get on their soul path, to follow the heart's desire, to listen intuitively to what the message are that you're given or that you're getting. And I would say, listen intently to what your gut feeling is, the desires of your heart, what you're wanting to achieve. And we can get very much distracted, particularly when it comes to what other people are up to. I've had various conversations with good friends, those who are in the metaphysical field and of spirit and do readings, and those who are on the surface looking in with the idea that perhaps they'd like to step forward. Well, I'm here to tell you that we are all exactly the same. We all come to spiritual awakening at different points on our soul path, the life path, the path with which we learn to separate ourselves from others in so much that we become our own person. So when I say we're all the same, we're equal. No one is above or below anybody else. No one is better or worse than anyone else. It's the human construct, the construction of culture, society, the rules of man, not the rules of the universe or the rules of spirit, that set down the hierarchy. And what sets folks apart is the integrity with which you go forward and do things. Integrity, respect. So if you're looking to follow a more spiritual path, and that doesn't mean following a religious, meaning the religions such as Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, that's certainly available, and it certainly works if you are seeking a discipline that is surrounded by ceremony, habit, celebration. And I think it works. Most of us who are raised in the Western cultures, the Western world, being, Europe, America, South America, North America. I don't know much about those who are raised in Asia or the South Pacific. I wasn't raised there. I haven't spent much of my life in those areas, or any really for that matter, only to visit. So the point I'm making is that those of us, our first opening on the physical realm was indoctrinated into a form of religious following, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, all of them ones I've mentioned. And at some point when we say we come into our own, we follow our own spiritual path or spiritual growth, there's a point with which we choose what path we want to be on. We choose what spiritual path we want to follow. But just as if you go into a church setting, it's solemn, it's sacred, it's respectful, it's filled with integrity. And when you begin to lighten up, I have a saying, you need to lighten up if you want to brighten up. If you begin to lighten up, you begin to lift the burdens, the woes of the world on your shoulder. You start to realize that there's a power greater than you at work all the time, making things happen on your behalf. Odd things begin to happen at random. I call them God incidences. You begin to understand that God is in absolutely everything, creates everything, makes everything happen. As a child, I was confused as to what God was. Is it a man? Because everybody speaks of God, at least biblical terms, scriptures, ancient scriptures, speak of God as in the context of being masculine. But there's also a female side to God that's represented in the Western world by the Mother Mary. There's also archangels, Gabriel, who at some point, the story goes, was Gabriel. The archangel of love and nurturing, mothering, softness, kindness. The type of archangel that sets you on your path and says, there, go do your thing. Mind your P's and Q's. So at any given moment, as we lighten up, as we brighten up, as we come to the fold of spirit, more and more and more of these witnessings show up. Archangels and angels were trusted with the secrets of God. They came forward to tell Mary that she was about to have a baby, and that baby's name was Jesus, and Jesus was going to be the Son of God. There are many, many biblical stories that talk about life in those terms. In other religious ceremonies or stories or different parts of the world, it's the same kind of information told in a slightly different way that fits in with what that particular area of the world is studying. My own personal belief is, as we become more of a globalized community, we become more non-denominational, a bit more evened out. Many adults have found the constructs of religious followings, as in traditional religion, to be somewhat limiting. Or perhaps they've been opened to a kinder way with which to worship, with which to pray, as I have. So this is what today's message is about: spiritual growth. The ability of being open to something greater than the physical form. The understanding that perhaps you can be in touch with what your soul path is. What is your intention other than to go to work, to feed your animals, to take care of your family, to check in on your friends? What is your purpose? And for doing that, we meditate, we go inward, we seek the knowledge, the higher teachings, that the source energy, the God-like energy, the angelic energy, the spiritual energy, the vibration of the higher realm brings us that information. So in order to be more spiritual, in order to have spiritual growth, it's necessary to lighten up, meaning let go of the ties that bind us to so much of the physical limitations, the ideas and the stories that we are not good enough, that we are not worthy, that we cannot do this, have this, cannot get this. It's time to get on the road of spiritual growth and put in what is missing. And for that, you, if you're listening, are the only one that can access what you believe is missing. Yesterday we touched on affirmations, affirming what your desires are. And the difference between affirming what your desires are and manifesting what you want is the belief that it's possible. That's where spiritual growth comes in. You have a notion, your intuition, your higher self is asking you to do something by nudging you, giving you a small indication, sending you signs that you are or are not paying attention to. And then eventually there's a billboard that shows up. You can't avoid it. Something stops you in your tracks and makes you pay attention. Oh my goodness. And then you pay attention, you get it. You're like, oh my goodness, where was I? I've seen this all along and now all of a sudden I've just arrived here. I've just got it. That's spiritual growth. Those of us who have lost people in our lives that have been close to us, and as we age and mature, that experience of losing those people we knew in a physical form, they've left their body and gone somewhere else. I call it the other side. I believe that people's soul and spirit never get disconnected. What gets disconnected is the identity, the name, and the body, the physical construct of where the soul's been living while they've needed to do what they needed to do, complete their purpose. So while you're here, spiritual growth helps you get in touch with the purpose you came here to begin with. And that might be something right now that you ponder. Because I know myself in my 30s. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? So this is about remembering, coming to a place of remembrance, and it is perfectly normal, natural, and probably a given that when we spend the first part, the morning of our life, if you will, Wayne Dwyer talks about the morning of your life, the afternoon of your life, the evening of your life. We spend the morning of our life getting used to how to live in a physical world, because for many eons we've been spiritual. Part of that spiritual world. Part of the floating without a body, without gravity, without bills, without work, without a way to do what we need to do to come and go. We remember all of that. That's easy. The physical stuff is a little more difficult. Which is why I believe the spirit takes up a space of a small baby to start with, and then learns trust, and then learns growth, and then learns boundaries, and then learns how all this works. And then as a little baby, a small child, a teenager, a young adult, we're given all of the world, or all of the space to play, get it wrong, do it wrong, change our minds, try this, try that, go here, go there. One relationship works, another one doesn't. One job works, that one doesn't. This college course works, that college course doesn't. We pass exams, fail exams, and climb the road to wherever. Then we reach the point somewhere between 35 and 50, trying to work it out. The maturity's already happened. There's this idea that we're in a physical form, we've got to get it together. We're supposed to have our life all organized. We're supposed to have that house and 2.5 children and a dog. And we're supposed to have graduated from the first car to the SUV. I'm just using these as examples. And we roll along, go along. And each new phase of our lives is a larger piece of the puzzle, a bigger piece of responsibility, a larger job, a bigger title, more money, more prestige. And we're leading. Then we're in charge of something. Then we're managing. And we're working our way through the whole corporate thing. And eventually, somewhere underneath all of that is this opportunity to start reminding ourselves of where we came from and how all that works. So the message of today is spiritual growth. Opening yourself up to a higher level of existence, your true nature, what you're here to do. It's a learning experience. Remember, we're all a student of life and we're a student of spirit. What has happened in your life hasn't happened to you, it's happened on your behalf. And we've all got amazing resilience. We can overcome whatever darkness that's been thrown at us, no matter what's been served up, especially right now. And we've got the power within us to face it and find a way to move forward. Angels are acknowledging all of us for our determination, and the positive kind-heartedness, the upbeat energy that we have. And as you get more upbeat, as the angels remind you and spirit reminds you that you're doing a damn good job, you might feel that you're opening up much more. So be aware of any of the visions you get, any psychic insights or connections you have to develop, because they're going to be a pivotal part of your growth. All right. I hope you got that. And I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I think that's part of the love of the journey. My own spiritual aha moment happened about 1987, 1988. And I went to a group channeling session with my roommate at the time. Group channeling was a man goes into trance, brings in spirits from the other side, everyone sits in a circle. In order to get a private reading with this gentleman, you had to have a group session. So we went to his house in Hollywood, Florida, sat in a circle. He came and introduced himself. Paul McLean was his name. And the evening proceeded from there. Each person in turn got a message from one of the spirit guides. This gentleman clearly went into trance state and brought in the essence of a spirit. And there are many people that are gifted to be able to channel. I found that fascinating. So fascinating that I wanted to learn how to do it, and I did. There's a light, it's called the eternal flame, that runs inside all of us. You've heard it. You've heard it spoken about in many, many different contexts. And the question of being able to use your body as a vessel between the heaven and the earth is preparing it to be used in such a way. Is lifting the vibration up high enough to where the physical me as I am, my egoic construct, can move out of the way, and a spiritual being, entity, can use the physical body that I have to come in and do the communication. It is a energetic exchange. I could use terms like tiring, exhausting, all of those things. Yeah, no. It's energetic. In order for me physically to do it, I got to get my physical self prepared. That means, consuming light foods that digest easily, staying away from any kind of energy that could possibly pull me into a negative vacuum, the news, negative people, negative vibes, all that sort of thing. Because I wouldn't really want to open myself up for an experience where the guide and the angel and the spirit that came through was just ratchet. I mean, that's easy to do. But It's a lower vibration. And trust me when I say to channel lower vibrational energy might seem easy to do at first, but it is incredibly draining. More draining than bringing a ascended master in. I had a gatekeeper, probably still do. Her name was Donna. And Donna, the gatekeeper, was really responsible for making sure that any of the negative people didn't come and go. Now, many years later, rather than allow my physical body be used by a spirit, going out into a trance and coming back in, I let the messages come from the angels and the guides to me, around me, close to me, like I hear it whispering. And for me, that works better. For me, it's quicker, it's easier, it's not quite so draining. That's my way of saying how I opened up spiritually. And I've weaved in and out of this spiritual growth my whole adult life. Taken a step back and followed a corporate path, a work path, a career path on the physical plane. And then somewhere around 2007, 2008, I started practicing yoga, knowing nothing about it. Teachers would talk in tongues, as I called it then, making no sense whatsoever. Sanskrit. And it used to irritate me when somebody would say, whatever they would say, Tadasana, well, I got that. Everyone knows what Tadasana is. Tralala, that's what I thought it was. And then they will use all these other Sanskrit words. Get into a pose. And what I loved about the studio that taught me how to open up that part of my gift to teach with integrity, to be able to get it wrong, to know how failure isn't really about me. Failure is about learning to grow and to do something else and to do something different. And to be okay with whatever happens, and to get up and try again, and to have fun in the failure. And when I lightened up, when I got over myself, when I let the egoic confines of the physical world take their seat, which was nowhere near me, then I understood, wow, okay, this can be a pretty good gig. And there was eventually, that journey of teaching and student, learning and teaching happened simultaneously. There was a lightness there. There was a love there. There was a respect there. There was an integrity there where I could be the teacher and the student all at the same time. I could be with students who were learning something new and different and standing in front of them, having their epiphanies, helping them to get somewhere that they really wanted to go and watch that happen. And in turn, the students could get up and become a teacher and teach me something, show me something, share that space. That's spiritual growth, when you are just doing something that is of you, about you, but not controlled in any way, shape, or form. This is the lightness, this is the joy that we should all start to follow. Right, my friends, I'm going to read from Melody Beatty's book, and then we are right on channel to do some kind of meditation. Be gentle and loving is today's message from Journey to the Heart. And this is about Melody Beatty's journey for 1 year into different parts of the country, where she journaled every day, meditated every day, created affirmations every day, and wrote a book based on it. As I drove into Utah past Zion National Park, I began to feel the oddest sensation emanating from the earth, emanating from me. It was soft, lovely, light. All evening, deer had been crossing my path, coming to me from out of the woods. That's when I remembered. In the medicine cards, deer are the symbol of gentleness and love. The feeling coming from the ground through the air was gentle, kind, and loving. The universe was reminding me of something. It was a place inside of me, one I had discovered before, a place of gentleness and love. Somewhere along my life's journey, with all its trials, moving about business and experiences, I had let gentleness slip away. Now it was time to go deep again. It was a reminder to be gentle and kind to others, be gentle and kind to myself. Gentleness, kindness, and love are more than places to visit. They are places we can take with us wherever we go. Now, if that isn't an example of spiritual growth, my name is Aunt Fanny. I don't quite know what exactly. This is how all this works. This is how all of this comes together. There is a vast epiphany of internal, external, eternal energy at work 24/7. All we have to do is open ourselves up to the possibility that with grace, with love, with gentleness, with kindness, with integrity, with respect, beginning with what we do, how we exemplify it, and then rippling out like the pebble on top of the pond, radiating it out in all directions. Because I guarantee, my friends, when you begin to radiate this energy from the inside of you, to lift, to lighten, to brighten, anything and everything becomes possible to you. Now, I am not saying that my life now is like Mary Poppins jumping through a painted sidewalk painting and going for a ride with Bert on a carousel. There are trials and tribulations. There are issues that pop up. There's still irritations. There's still the person that feels like they need to be riding my bumper or weaving in and out as if they are in a Grand Prix race. That's a little irritating. And yes, I don't like people who take advantage or seemingly decide that they're entitled to something more than someone else. What I'm reminded of almost instantly, which is none of my business, not my problem. That's for them to reconcile with themselves. And then I'm reminded, thank you, Source, thank you, God, thank you, angels, for reminding me that I don't need to resonate, vibrate, or be with that. I could just let it go. I could just be and let be. So carve out time for yourself to go to these places that bring you that joy, that lift up your heart. Try to look at whenever you make assumptions, whenever you take something personally, whenever you're out of integrity with your word. And that leads me to telling you to read that book, The Four Agreements. There's also the Fifth Agreement. Don Miguel Ruiz, fabulous writer. And then if you can't, I don't know if you can still get it, and I've said this before, this was one of the other ones I got. This one is called The God Memorandum. It's written by Og Mandino. The greatest miracle in the world. You know, there are other courses of study. A Course in Miracles is another one. After a while, I realized much of what I am now sharing, teaching, doing is a result of what I've learned somewhere along the way. The source energy reminds us all the time what our purpose is. The key for all of us here is to remember what it is. You can make lots of suggestions, but I would say the hallway to working out your purpose, finding your voice, lifting your heart up, is just that, kindness. Anchoring the light where there seems to be very little. Holding the hand of somebody who perhaps doesn't feel very secure. Buying a cup of coffee for someone who may need to sit and chat to you for a while. Understanding the plights of others by being benevolent toward them. Show others how to be kind. Show others how to be equal. All right, my friends, let's meditate. Feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes down, and for this morning, take a stretch up with your arms, open your arms out wide. Make your physical body truly open. You can bring your palms up towards the roof with your fingers wide apart. You can use your chest cavity, your shoulders, open them up. Just create the space where you are, in the environment that you're in the dwelling that you're in the room that you're in. And let's start by filling it up with light. Bring your feet flat to the floor. You can give them a little wiggle if you want. You can stretch out the toes. Get in touch with how the heels feel. Press the center of both heels down. Press the outside edges of both feet down. Just get the sense of where you know yourself that you are residing, where you belong to be, and taking up your space as you're meant to. Settle into the rhythm of your breath. Being present to the here and the now, the space you're in, the actual noise that you hear. Noise gives listening something to listen to. With every inhale, you take yourself deeper into relaxation and submission. Now begin to foster that feeling of what you are incredibly grateful for. Let the muscles of your face and your forehead and your jaws and your cheeks and your eyes be soft and relaxed. Thank you, Source, for surrounding me in your bright light. Thank you, God, for surrounding me in your bright light. I am grateful for your presence. I am grateful for your gifts. I am grateful for this opportunity. I am safe. I am free. I am love. And so it is. Picture, if you can, the light within your heart space. Think of your heart space as that spotlight shining, gleaming out from in front of you, above you, below you, behind you in all directions. And from way above, up through the crown of your head, up through your soul star chakra and your stellar gateway, that crown of stars above your head that's casting the light 4 to 5 inches beyond your body. Feel the energy from the source, from God, from the angels, recharging you on every single cell of your body, down to the soles of your feet, into the heart of the earth. Know that your spiritual body, your heart, your mind, and your body are being replenished, restored, recharged, renewed. Deepen your breath. Listen for that humming and hushing of your breath. Gently allowing yourself to connect with source energy. Your angels, your guardian angels are with you. You can affirm, thank you, angels, for reminding me that you're present. Thank you, angels, for showing me what I need to know. With every inhale and exhale, take yourself deeper. Allow yourself to bathe and be in love and in light. When you're ready, come back into the room, bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Just to honor yourself for doing the work, for taking the time out to listen. Then bring your thumb knuckles to your third eye center. Together we bow and honor each other with namaste. The light in me, the love in me, the joy in me honors the same about you. So it is, and so shall it be. Done. Thank you so much for all of that, for listening, for being here. I'm so grateful, really, for the opportunity to do this. Work on a pathway that you can follow to continue your daily spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be with me. Allow yourself to be a little more creative with what you follow and how you follow it. That could be as much as writing a journal, reading something spiritual. Spiritual growth could also be about turning off the news cycle. Little tiny subtle changes is still growth. My dogs are telling me yes, they're going mad down there. So, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.